Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning,
Waalaikumsalam
students.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, ma'am.
How are you today?
I'm fine, ma'am. What about you, ma'am?
I'm fine, thank you for asking. Um, so today we will learn about narrative text, but before the lesson starts, I want to take the accents first. Is anybody here?
Yes, ma'am.
No one gets sick?
Uh, ada ma'am absent. Sorry, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So before getting into the material, I will first explain what are the learning objectives that we will achieve today. This learning objective aims to enable you to identify and comprehend narrative text structure and characteristics, create compelling characters and plot elements, employ sensory details and vivid imagery to enhance your writing, effectively use dialogue to advance the plot and develop characters, and revise your words for clarity, coherence, and pacing and structure. Now we move to the lesson material. Does anyone here know or have heard of narrative text? Raise your hand, please. No one?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, narrative text is a kind of text that tells about a story that is based on some complication or problematic event, and it tries to find the resolutions to solve the problem. Simply put, a narrative text is a type of text that tells a story or describes a sequence of events. The purpose of a narrative text is to entertain or inform the reader by presenting a series of events in a coherent and engaging way. The next material is characteristics and structure. There are four characteristics that using in a narrative text include using past tense, using adverbial of time, using adjectives, and using noun phrases. Using past tense in narrative text often contain past tense because they typically recount events or stories that have already occurred. Using adverbial of time. The narrative text often uses adverbial of time to provide a clear structure and sense of progression to the story. Adjective. Adjectives in narrative text help create a more detailed and vivid story. Noun phrases. In narrative text, noun phrases can be used to give more detailed description, highlight certain parts of a character or setting, or explain complicated ideas and concisely. The next is the structure of narrative text. The four structure include orientation, complication, resolution, and reorientation. Orientation is a step that the stage for the story. Ideally, the orientation should answer the question who, where, and when. So when doing the orientation part, we should be able to identify the character and setting both time and place of the story. Complication in this section contains the problem that occur within the story. It is divided into three parts, namely rising action, which is problems begin to emerge, climax, peak of the problem, and falling action, which the tension of the problem begins to decrease and the solution starts to emerge. The third is a resolution. The resolution is the part of the narrative where the conflict or problem introduced earlier in the story is resolved or addressed. This may involve characters finding a solution to their issues, overcoming obstacles, or experiencing personal growth. The resolution helps tie up loose ends, providing closure for the reader and allowing them to see how the events of the story have impacted to the characters. The last structure is a orientation, or you can also know as a evaluation. Reorientation is an optional component of a narrative text that serves to reflect on the story and its events, reinforcing the moral lesson or theme. This section typically appears at the end of the story, providing a summary or commentary on the characters' experiences and the consequences of their actions. Okay, now we move into the assessment section. I will give one of the simplest example of narrative text with the title Cinderella, and then try to find its characteristic and structure first before we move on the individual assignments. I guess 10 minutes to do it, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, finish.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
okay, who wants to answer? Where is the orientation, complication, and the resolution of this narrative text?
Me, ma'am.
Okay, Rian, go on.
So, orientation in the text is once upon a time there was a beautiful girl called Cinderella. She lived with her stepsisters and stepmother. They were very busy. She had to do all the housework. Uh, the complication in the text is start in one day an invitation to the ball come to the family. Her stepsister did not let her go, so Cinderella was very sad. The stepsister went to the ball without her. And the last is resolution. Start in fortunately the good very came and help her to get to the ball. At the ball, Cinderella danced with the prince. The prince fell in love with her, then he married her. They lived happily ever after. I think that's all, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Dian. And who's gonna be answer? Where's the adverbial of time, adjective, and noun phrases?
Me, ma'am.
Okay, Dila, go on.
Yes, ma'am. For the characteristic of the text Cinderella is the first one is adverbial. For the adverbial is include once open time, and the second is for the adjective. Adjective are used to provide descriptions and change the vividness of the story. For example, include a beautiful girl, very bossy, sad, and happily ever after. And the last is for the noun phrases. Noun phrases are used to give more detailed description or highlight specific elements in the story. For example, include a stepsister and stepmother, housework, ball, the prince, and the good fairy. I think that's all, ma'am. For me, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dila, for the good answer. And Dian. Okay, now we move into the individual word. Just like the previous example that I given to you, find the characteristic and structure of this text, and I give you 20 until 30 minutes to discuss, starting from now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, finish.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, where's the orientation in the text?
In paragraph, in the first paragraph, ma'am.
Okay, correct. And where's the complication started and when it ended?
Yes, ma'am.
Where's the paragraph of complication start and where's the ended?
The complication in the text start from the second paragraph until at paragraph 18, ma'am.
18. Okay. Where's the paragraph of resolution?
The resolution, ma'am, from paragraph 19 until 21.
Okay. And daily orientation?
Start from paragraph 22 until 24, ma'am.
Okay. Who's gonna identify the characteristic of this text? Dila? How about you?
Yes, ma'am. For the characteristic, the first one is adjectives. Saya menemukan di paragraf kedua, ma'am, yaitu red and threefold.
Okay. Lalu?
Next is in a paragraph sentence, so I judge, there are adjective, ada adjektif yang saya dapat di situ yaitu soft grass. And the next is bright sunshine, health empty flower sack. And the last is broken vase of red flowers. For the noun phrase, the first one is in the paragraph 1, the blading tree. And the second is the cotton field,
Mhm.
old woman swamp, a note of cruelty, and I think that's all, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the good answer from Dian and Dila. So, uh, kalian bisa lihat di sini jawaban yang benar. Wait. Okay, you can see the right answer in the word. Is
Yes,
it
ma'am.
clear for you? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, now we move into the crossing part. In conclusion, narrative texts are stories that recount a series or, of events or problems with the aim of entertaining or informing the reader. They typically utilize past tense, adverbial of time, adjectives, and noun phrases to create a vivid and engaging narrative. The structure of a narrative text consists of an orientation that sets the stage, a complication where problems arise and escalate, a resolution where conflicts are resolved, and an optional evaluation that reflects on the story and its themes. By employing these characteristics and following the structure, narrative texts provide a cohesive and captivating storytelling experience. They allow readers to immerse themselves in the narrative, become invested in the characters and their struggles, and ultimately find resolution and closure, whether in books, movies, or oral storytelling. Narrative continues to be a fundamental and cherished form of a human expression. And last but not least, I have a few words of motivation for you. Do something now and your future self will think for you later. Thank you for your active participating. Always be happy and stay healthy. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.